Morning. Sort of carrying on from the weekend. Just did a little bit more work early yesterday morning on the Monday, a little bit in the afternoon, just continuing on, sort of finishing some of the prep on some of the suspension parts for the rolling chassis that we're putting together for our F100 shop truck. Spin the camera around here. So managed to pull the calipers down and got them sandblasted and prepped up, just waiting on some seal kits to arrive for them today. Stub axles, got them all degreased yesterday, cleaned the bearings up, and stub axles will go in the sandblaster. Gave the backing brackets for the calipers a good sandblast and a bit of an etch prime there yesterday. The Chevy truck we're building, the front end got its first coat of 2K primer yesterday. They were all sandblasted, epoxied, repaired. They were really rusty. Bottom of them were all gone. Around the headlight on one of them was all gone. We had to make all that. And yeah, they come up pretty nice. And we sat the cab back on the chassis yesterday. That's all bolted down now, ready to just, the doors are back on, they just got to be adjusted, and then Brendan will block them all panel to panel. Like I said, the gaps have still got to be finely adjusted, but pretty bloody good, because this cab was absolutely obliterated. So yeah, Brendan will keep block sanding that one now, and then we'll probably put the front end on and block all that out at the same time. But progress is definitely progress, and it hasn't really been that long when you think about it. It was only a rusted out shell 14 months ago. Heaps of work in that one, lots of sort of just custom everything. It's probably the only way to describe it. Sheet metal, pedals, brakes, hubs, wheels, exhaust, fuel systems, just everything's a one-off and everything's made, but it should be reliable as hell, and I would travel in this thing across the country over a new car any day. as you can see, we just bolted up all the drive assembly that we made for the 37 coupe. That's all finished now. We put a -3 water bleed into the cylinder heads. That'll run up to the radiator. Everything fits, everything works. That was not a quick job, but it's done. Not sure if you can see it or not, but on the base of where that adjuster pulls up the machine like a little ball, so that as the Heim changes angle, as that rod changes angle, it doesn't want to bind up on the flat. Just the little things, just making sure it all sort of works how it needs to, and that's where the time goes. So we need to put a dipstick in the Hotrod engine, LS1. It's got custom headers and everything to sort of suit the Hotrod frame. We've got the flexible braided dipsticks in stock here, so that'll definitely speed things up and make it a lot easier. It's the next day, cranking through the week, just walking around, turning some lights on. Such a good feeling to walk in the workshop and have a bit of a look around. You don't sort of realise how quickly things are happening when you're doing it, but just sort of getting here this morning and realising that we're about to start putting some colour on the firewall of that Chevy truck. That's pretty awesome. Not only that, but the HJ, that's ready to go back to the owner now with all the requirements for his engineering work completed. We just gave that a nice wipe down with some detailing spray there yesterday. Like to send them back cleaner than what they came in. Anyway, let's turn some lights on. Just divide in here. So yeah, towards the end of the day, we'll block down that 2K primer, and I reckon Friday morning the firewall will be black. Then that means we can assemble the whole front end. Brendo can do a final check on all the front guards, the bonnet fitment. So many things change in filler and build up, and anyway, it'll be a massive step forward, and this thing will sort of start to look like a truck and stay in one piece, which is so cool. So we're just working on the coupe, looking at fitting these new, I think they're Mercedes seats, but obviously still full of airbags and all kinds of crap that we don't need in a hot rod. So just going through now, all the movements of the seat are also electric, so it's pretty hard to finalise the mounts or do anything without working out what all those controls do, so that we can make sure that we've got good adjustment in the car. As you can hear, Brendo's belting away on the Chev truck in the background, so we'll just keep going. So just welding some brackets into the floor to hold the seats in the coupe. I'll show you something. See how undulating the floor is with that big hump there. Then you come forward and it takes a drop of about sort of 12 mil in that section there. I'm just working on this box section here now. Same thing, floor drops off there. Got a body mount halfway through it. So I guess all I'm saying is just be aware that you might think, oh, we just put bucket seats in a car. Yeah, no, it's a lot of work. So we just welded in some bungs and floor brackets for the coupe seats. Just working on the coupe seats, just making some brackets to weld into the floor. So those ones are already welded in to the box sections. Just sort of marking these out now, one across to the other. That's the inner one with a big scallop out of it. And then we'll have to shape the other ones to fit the outsides. Got the seat brackets tacked up in the coupe now. I'll show you what's happened there. So TIG welded those threaded inserts in, gave it a couple of different positions. It's always hard to mock a seat up for somebody else. So as well as the adjustment on the rails, we've got two positions forward and back on the mounts. Oh, time to glue those in. So we've just got the driver's seat into the coupe. Pretty cool seats actually now that sort of worked them out. Electric everything. Check it out. So the seat will be trimmed without the headrest when the interior gets done. It does give you some pretty cool features though that were definitely not available in 1937. Pretty cool deal. Alright, Friday Arvo, end of the week. Still pushing pretty hard on the 37 coupe. Just got all the seat mounts all finally welded in there. Just doing a bit of metal finishing on that now. There's heaps of holes in the floor, battery hole, steering column hole, some drain holes, all kinds of old stuff we've still got to weld up, spin it around. Alright, so yeah, all of our seat mounts are welded in there. Just need to do some tidying up there. We've just got the battery box hole to weld up. Just gonna spray some weld through primer down, and then just sort of made up a patch panel to weld in there and seal that up. Then these old drain holes in the front here, we'll weld them up as well. And then yeah, we still have to make a new trans tunnel section. We decided to take a fairly big window out of the firewall and do that in a heavier gauge steel where the firewall mounted brake booster goes now. Obviously with a heap of brake pressure pushing on those old firewalls, we'll put a heavy gauge in there, do a bit of a reinforcing lip in that, and then probably tie that into the dash or the steering column. I hate having a flexi pedal like underfoot. You want something nice and solid, especially with this little hot rod. Should get up and go pretty good. Yeah, just keep on going.
Released a special edition of her album 143. I really thought that she was back from the break when she performed the AFL Cup and she was right after she's back. Yeah, she's pushing back. And I'm not really back because I'm after that cover on. I do actually like Amy. There's a song on this extended version, so she adds 3 extra songs, let's say. It's called Okay. And the reason it's called the My Attention, and the American Idol himself, who wants to sing the version of the American Idol, he was told by Chevys that the essential one, he
I can't stop smiling, pretty excited. Brendo's just shot the black on the firewall, and I reckon it looks absolutely amazing. Pretty cool part of the project when you start to see a bit of colour thrown around. Let's have a look. Phone's not really picking up the light very well. But yeah, there's as glossy as, and he laid that down real flat. Absolutely stoked with that. It's a very, very good day. Morning, Saturday, my favourite day in the workshop. Today we're putting the front end on the Chevy truck, getting it all sort of dialed in, just final check on the gaps and everything before Brendo blocks out the high build that's on there, puts some 2K on there and starts to get that ready to go out for its final coat of black and clear. Got Scooter and Sam coming in today to give a hand with that, because it's yeah, at least a two-person job to lift some of that stuff in the front of the truck. The radiator weighs an absolute ton, and it's just fiddly to hold the big long guards and all that stuff without extra help. We've had some stuff come in during the week for our F100 build, and we just quickly dusted some etch primer on the floor of the coupe yesterday afternoon before we went home, just to make sure we don't get any surface rust or anything on that. We'll be painting this whole floor in Raptor, underneath and inside, as well as obviously sound deadening all the floor, so nothing will be seen, but just want to, you know, give it the absolute best shot at lasting forever. It's made in 1937 and it still looks pretty good, so let's keep it looking that way. So there's all the seat brackets, just with the 1K etch on them. Floor repair panel where the battery used to be. Just machined up a couple of these stud mounts yesterday afternoon. They'll go up on the firewall and become the new gas pedal mounts. Still got lots of little things to delete, weld up, etc. That's where the new steering column mount will come through for the collapsible column. Go and see what actually came in yesterday. It's always fun when boxes of car parts arrive. Well, this one's in from Rod Shop. We might get a knife and start unwrapping. Alright, so that's our fairly cheapy parallel 4-link kit from Rod Shop. It's just a pretty quick, easy way without making up all the parts and getting things laser cut and what have you. Not quite sure whether the holes in the diff plates will be right for the V8 Holden diff that we're using, but we'll get around that one way or another. We got our LS sump and conversion kit to go into the Holden chassis there, and just downstairs did some clearancing on the block for the 383 crank yesterday, so just do a quick mock up on that now just to make sure the con rods and everything all clear. And that'll be back out to machining again. Deck it to the height we need, and go from there. Got a few more parts to hit with a sandblaster for the old Holden chassis. Sam will be in this week cleaning that up so we can get it into a roller and then stash the roller. Got all our control arms just all painted up there the other afternoon. As said, the new Hot Rod is just a cheap shop truck build, so we could use it every day. We could powder coat, we could 2-pack, we could do all that kind of stuff. But this thing will still look badass, and we'll actually use it and abuse it. Just going through, tapping out all the threads in all the powder coated parts. Yeah, powder coat's awesome, but it does fill all the holes up with crap. Just going through and reassembling all the front end bracketry, everything that we custom made for this truck. So much thought had to go into what had to be rubber bushed, what could be fixed to the chassis. There is nothing original about any of this truck. This radiator that we got started out as a humongous truck radiator, and it still is one, but we had to turn it into basically a cross-flow deal to make it fit into our truck. We're just about to get that mounted back up. I have said it before, but it's so good when we're assembling a car to be able to just have every nut, bolt and washer, hose fitting, pretty much just everything you could ever need. It's taken a lot to get here, but yeah, we finally made it. Back at it. Just got some fasteners to bolt the fan drive to the front of the engine in the Chevy truck. Just in the middle of a big cleanup in the engine room, just getting ready for the next lot of engines to come through. It's just amazing how all this stuff piles up over the years. Just, yeah, different oil pans, and it's just such a nightmare to try and sell anything too. Just all the fools on marketplace. Got Sam down here pulling apart some old F-truck doors. Me and Scooter are just getting this front end together. Scoot's just putting the fans on the radiator. We're just cutting out some rubber gaskets to go up against the firewall. The brackets that hold the radiator are really significant. Basically like a mini semi setup, because it pretty much holds the front of the truck together. So this is a custom header tank that I built for the Chevy truck. Trying to squeeze in a filler and all that was fairly challenging with that ginormous radiator in there, but we shouldn't have any overheating dramas. But we just give this a quick flush out because it's been sandblasted and powder coated, so you never really know what's going on inside there. Anyway, hope you're enjoying your Saturday, whatever you're doing. I still love this stuff. I'm blessed to do it for a living, but it hasn't been easy to get here, that's for sure. But yeah, we are blessed to do what we do. So the mountings use a combination of rose joints, rubber mounts. That bottom rubber mount carries the grille and the front of the truck. Then we've got our strut rods coming back, header tank brackets. Rubber mounts up on the firewall. Coming along. I'm just laying underneath the Chev truck here, and you can see like all these brackets and that we had to make, all the carriers for the radiator, all the custom bumper mounts, literally everything. But we're just mocking the front clip up there now. So in a bit of a clean up and a bit of a tear down, it actually turned into arts and crafts out here at Savo. So we decided, rather than just throwing an old F-truck door in the bin, that we might turn that into a bit of a workshop sign. I don't know, see what you reckon? It's got speed stickers, it's got to be fast. Well, just going to pack up our mess for the day, show you how far we got with the Chevy truck. So we got the front guards and the front end and that back on. A lot of the front assembly all back together. Scoot's just finishing putting a few bolts in there now, and then we'll have a bit of a clean up and head home. So that's going to do it for this week. Thanks heaps for watching, and if you wouldn't mind, maybe send us a comment, subscribe to the page, that'd be amazing, and we appreciate everyone who already has, and look forward to hearing from you.